two homework problems to go over. And the homework problems are as follows. We've got one problem, we've got two from 5.6. 5.6, 63/24. So that's number 63 in the book, similar to number 63 in the book, and similar to number 24 online homework. First of all, is it a test question? Yes, it's a word problem, so it's a test question. Now, we did go over this one Wednesday, but we'll go over it again since it is a test question. I will go over it again. And it tells you what to do. Now, I'm not going to read the question because you can read it and you will see that it tells you to divide the country by the world. So 309.7 million is 309,700,000. And the world's population is 6,530,000,000. Now, a lot of people say, well, Hubert, why are you writing it like that? Because I thought we were in scientific notation. Well, I'm going to turn these into scientific notation. I think it's better to write them out and let you see, because a lot of people get confused with 309.7 and they don't know what that really means. So that's why I do this, kind of kill two birds with one stone. And now I'm going to turn it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 3.09 times 10 to the 8th over 369. 6.53 times 10 to the 9th. Now I'm going to go to my handy dandy calculator, because unless you're Rain Man, you're not going to be able to do that unless you do long division, and there's no sense in doing that. So I'm going to take 3.09. Notice I'm using a calculator. If I'm using a calculator, then there's nothing wrong with you using a calculator. And I get 0.4732, and that's good enough for government work. 0.4732 times 10 to the 8 minus 9. And that will give me 0.4732 times 10 to the negative 1, which is 0.04732. And that's it. That's how you do the problem. So let's go back and type it in. It says round to the nearest thousandth, so that would be 0.047. And we feel good about ourselves. Delete. This is 5.6, number 67 in the book, similar, and number 25 online. First of all, is it a test question? Yes. We also went over this one Wednesday. I drew a picture of a planet and a moon, and the distance between the planet and the moon is 247,000 miles. And the spacecraft can get there, or it travels 20,000 miles per hour. I could travel there in 25,000 miles an hour. Says the guy with no, no, shut up, Hubert. And we know that distance equals rate times time. Now, the only thing you need to do here, you can either plug and chug, or you can miles per hour and miles. You can either plug and chug and solve for t, or you can solve for t and plug and chug. I'm going to solve for t, plug and chug. So d is equal to r times t. I want t by itself, so I'm going to divide by r on both sides. So t is equal to d over r, which is equal to 2.47 times 10 to the 5th divided by the rate, which is 2.0 times 10 to the 4th. I went ahead and changed both of these into scientific notation. And this is, you can do this in your head. You don't need a calculator. 2 will go into 2 one time. 2 will go into 4 2 times. 2 will go into 7 3 times. And that'll leave a 1, and that would be a 5. Times 10 to the 1st. And you would move that over. So it's going to take 12.35 hours. Because miles cancels with miles, and you're left with hours. I could get there in 6 hours. Run in the other direction. 12.35. And you feel good about yourself. 2 good test questions. Good job. Now we're going to move on to 10.1. Because I don't have any more test questions. I don't have any more homework questions. So that means everybody knows what they're doing. Now, 10.1 is very simple. Fractions, decimals, and percents. 10.1. Fractions, decimals, and percents. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on doing transitions from fractions, decimals, and percents. 1/5. You change that into a decimal. Now, I do it the easy way. I make this into a 1/10, and that would be 5 will go into 10 2 times, so that would be 0.2. Change a decimal into a percent, you move over 2 places to the right, and that's equal to 20%. If I'm given, this is what we're given. So if you're given this, and it tells you to put it into a decimal, that's the way you do it. If it tells you to change it to a percent, you change it into a decimal, then you move it 2 places to the right, and that's a percent. If you're given 33%, if you're given that, then you're going to put that over 100. What percent means? That means over 100. And I just changed a fraction into, a percent into a fraction, and I can change that into a decimal, 0.33. So I just changed a fraction, a percent into a fraction, and then change that into a percent. So I've given now what if you're giving me a decimal? Well, 0.25. Okay, so either you're going to be given a fraction, or you're going to be given a percent, or you're going to be given a decimal, and you're told to change it into something else. And that would be 25 over 100, which is equal to 25%, or 25 over 100 equals 1/4 as far as a fraction. So, and there's your 3 examples of what I could give you on a test. So I'm not going to sit here and go through 10 or 15 problems with you on this when I could spend more time on scientific notation or, adding and subtracting fractions. Okay, I think it's more important to go over that. Everybody that graduates high school should be able to do this. That should come from, sixth grade, maybe? I don't know. Okay, everybody should. Now, that's the first part of 10.1. Now, the second part of 10.1 is what I want you to really concentrate on, and that is two parts. So 10.1b, this is 10.1a, this is 10.1b, and b is divided into two parts. Is of percent over 100 and the Walmart equation. Walmart equation is something I came up with a long time ago. So please don't tell Walmart, because they'll come to me and want money because I'm using their name. You can call it the Target or the grocery store equation, because everybody in here has used it before. You just don't know it. Is a percent over 100. You ever seen a sentence problem? I call it a sentence problem. 2 is what percent of 21? 21 is 4% of what number? Y'all seen these before? And 5% of 26 is what number? And there's your three questions. Usually you have a sentence and it asks you something like that. That's when you use is a percent over 100. The Walmart equation, you ever walked into a grocery store or store? Miss Grindle, you may, I know that you've been in the military, so you're not 18 years old. So if you were, then you went into the military when you were 13 or 14, and that's just not right. So I know that you're above 18, so that means that you've probably been in a grocery store or a store and you've only had $10 in your pocket before. All right, and you've actually done the math in your head. Okay, this box of cereal costs $4. 5% tax is $4.20. Okay, some of y'all actually have done that before. All right, especially when you've only had $10 in your pocket or $20 in your pocket. You know what I'm talking about. All right, that's the Walmart equation. You take the price and you either add or subtract the percent tax on that price, and that's equal to the total. And that is the Walmart equation.
Okay.
And how do you use it? Well, I tell students to use it for tips, for discounts, and for taxes. Kind of works out better when you use the Walmart equation for those three things. Now, somebody tell me what tips and taxes are. Positive or negative? Positive, because you add them on to whatever you have. You add the tips onto the bill. You add the taxes onto what you make. Nothing is what? Nothing is free. If people get a $15 minimum wage, do you think that everything's going to stay the same?
No.
No. McDonald's is going to start charging you $5 for a hamburger.
Or they'll just fire you and put those robots in there.
I think that'd be a good thing. All right. But the whole point is you taxes and tips, you add that. Discounts, you subtract. And that's how you use that. Now I'm going to show you an example. We've got 3 examples right here. And then we got this example. So here we go. 2% is what percent? Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. 2% 2. There. 2 is what percent of 21? Is of equals percent over 100. So I'm going to take my handy dandy highlighters. You know I got to use these highlighters. What would y'all do without an animated teacher? I tell you what, got these colors and makes you feel good about yourself, and I just don't know what we're going to do. Is 2% or 2 is, so that goes here. So 2 goes there. What percent and of 21? Okay, I'm going to tell y'all one of my pet peeves. I cannot stand to drop things. That's one of my pet peeves. Anybody else like that?
I don't think
I
anyone
cannot
does.
stand. Huh?
I don't think anyone enjoys dropping things.
Oh, well, I can't stand it. Okay, other people don't like it. I can't stand it. The other thing I can't stand is to put something on the floor or in the back of my truck and it be sitting on something else and it's unlevel. That's another pet peeve of mine. I can't stand that. Okay. My son will come in here and he'll put the groceries on the, we'll come in and put the groceries, take the groceries out, and he'll like lay a pizza on a box and it'd be like at a 30-degree angle, and that drives me bananas. So I guess I'm just weird. All right, so here we go.
You ever get like
what?
You ever get like the grocery cart with like the messed up wheel?
I always do. Every time I go into a place, I get the
that.
one that goes wicker, 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 wicker. Or thump, 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 thump,
That's a
thump.
pet peeve of mine.
Yep. 2 goes here. 21 goes here. X goes here. And 100 goes there. And what do we do when we have an algebraic variable in with 2 fractions? What do? Mr. Pack, I believe you asked this several weeks ago. You cross what?
Multiple.
Cross multiply. 200 is equal to 21x. Divide by 21. And you take your handy dandy calculator, because that's, unless you're Rain Man, you're not going to be able to divide 200 by 21. You know what's sad is I am saying Rain Man, and there's only like 1 or 2 people in the classroom that know what I'm talking about. 200 divided by 21, because it's not an animated cartoon by Walt Disney or by Pixar or one of those. And if it's not one of those or a Marvel comic, then they don't know about it. 9.5238. 9.5238. So 2 is 9.52% of 21. I would just go ahead and say 9.5% or 10%. That's what I would say. 2 is 9.5% of 21. And that's how you do the sentence problem. Let's do another one. The other one says 21 is 4% of what number? Okay, so is of percent over 100. Take my handy dandy highlighter. 21 is 4% of, so now I'm going to plug and chug. Tell me where everything goes. Somebody tell me what goes in the is spot.
21.
I'm sorry, speak up.
21.
I can't understand mumble. Somebody tell me what goes in the of spot. That means I want you to interact.
X.
X. What goes in the percent spot?
4.
And you're done. Would you be surprised that I have had students tell me that they've gone through 12 years of school and they've never seen this before?
Yes.
It blows my mind. 4x is equal to 2100. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. And you can use your calculator for that. I don't mind it. But you could do it by hand. It's not a big deal. 2100 divided by 4. 525. So 21 is 4% of 525. And that's how you do sentence problems. I'm going to go ahead and move to a Walmart equation. Let's say you go into Target, and I'm going to give you, know I worked at Walmart, or I didn't tell you that, but I did work at Walmart before I went in the Marine Corps. And main action alley, you got a dang old sign right there, sale. And you got a bin right there on the main action alley, and you're selling t-shirts. T-shirts on sale. And you pick the only t-shirt, because this is the way I am with my buggy that's got a bad wheel on it. I pick the only t-shirt that doesn't have a tag on it. Somebody ripped off the tag. Don't have a tag on it. So I have no idea how much it cost. But the sale is 33% off. 33% off. Okay, you take it up to the counter, and you ask the cash register person, because they're getting $15 an hour, so they need to know this stuff. How much is the price on the, how much is it? And she says, well, the total price would be $52.60. That's what you would pay for it. So at 33% off. So what is the original price? Now, I can go ahead and tell you, if you think you know how to do this, chances are you don't. Because there's only one way to do this. The other way, there's two ways actually, but the second way is like 3 or 4 steps. And a lot of people say, well, I'll just take the 5260 and multiply it by 0.33 and subtract it off the 5260. No, you can't do it that way. You have to use the Walmart equation. X plus or minus 0.33x is equal to 5260. Now, what is a discount? Is it plus or minus? That means I want y'all to interact. It's minus. A discount is discount positive or negative? Technically, it's negative. You've taken off of something. You're subtracting. So that's going to be x minus 0.33x is equal to 5260. And I'm going to change that to 0.67. x is equal to 5260, and I'm going to divide by 0.67 and take my handy dandy calculator, and I'm going to do 52.6 divided by 0.67, and the original price of this shirt is $78.51. $78.51, and I will not tell you where I got the 0.67 from. So don't even ask it. Can somebody tell me where I got the 0.67 from? What's in front of the X right here?
From the 100% or like the 3.
What's in front of this X?
The 1.
Good job. I'm going to put that in red because y'all forget that for some reason. And what's the dollar minus 33 cents? All right. Now let's do a tip or tax. Let's say you go to my favorite restaurant is Outback. A lot of people say, well, Hubert, you don't like to go. No, I don't like to go to these podunk restaurants that think they're high end, but they're not. I just go to Outback, or the other place is Longhorn. I love Longhorn and Outback. I don't know how to get rid of this. It won't go away. There. Okay, so you go to Outback and you get a meal and refreshments and dessert. Okay, appetizer, refreshments, meal, refreshments, dessert. Your bill is with gratuity is $104.78. The meal was $80. Okay, so what did you pay for the tip? Well, 80 plus 80 times X is equal to 104.78. Subtract 80, and this is X plus or minus percentage X is equal to the total. Walmart equation. So 80 is your original price with the meal and the drinks and the food. Food and drink was $80. Your total is 104. That's with gratuity, and we're not going to do taxes. We're just going to say tip. All right. So that's going to leave 80x is equal to, well, 104.78, and you can use your calculator on this. 104.78 minus $80. 24.78. And I'm going to divide by 80. And what kind of a tip? Well, 24.78 divided by 80. 31%. So I gave that waitress or waiter a 31% tip. And that's how you use the Walmart equation. Okay, so if I test you on anything in 2.10.1, I'm going to test you on the sentence equations, and the Walmart equations. Sentence equations, those right there, is up percent over 100. Probably one or two of each. That's what I'm going to test you on out of 10.1. All righty. What's next, Hubert? Well, we got 15 minutes, close to it, to look at your test. And we will pull that up right now. And there is the homework. Look at there. Oh, it's got a due date on it. So some of you that are going halfway crazy about a due date, choke on it. There it is, right there. You feel good about yourself now that you got a date? There it is. Does anybody want to run around in circles while we're looking at that date? Nobody? Okay. And the bottom, there's the test. Now let's look at this. Look what the test has on it. It's got a due date. It's got a time, midnight, 2:24, 90 minutes. I only give y'all 50 minutes to take the test. How do I know it's a 50-minute test? Because each question, turn your, Miss Wilson, turn your speaker down or something. Hear myself. Each question that I put on a test has an average time that all the students in America that use My Labs Plus and My Labs Math and My Math Lab, all those questions that are asked, My Lab Pearson keeps a time on it. And they get an average. So the number 20 question on 5.6, that question has been done, has been completed by all the students that have been on My Labs Plus in the last 5 or 6 years, or however long that question would, whenever it was created, and how many, they get an average time. And I make sure that my test does not go over 50 minutes. Does everybody understand that? The questions that I pick, all of them together, when I'm doing a test, it gives me a total time at the top. And I do not go over 50 minutes. So that means that everybody in here has an extra what? If the test is made for 50 minutes.
We have an extra 40
minutes.
Okay, I want everybody to make sure you realize that you have an extra 40 minutes. I do this for 2 reasons. Can anybody tell me what the 2 reasons are?
You think we're slow?
No. That's very negative, Mr. Nelson.
You're giving us that time to, like, 1, not stress, 2, to check your work.
Okay. I think you both answered it kind of, not Mr. Nelson. Mr. Nelson, I do not think you are slow. The reason I give you, not even though that was, I like you answered that perfectly because you think we're slow. The reason I give you that is for excuses. If I give you 50 minutes to take the test and I give you, or I allow 50 minutes and I give you an hour, what are some of y'all going to do? I didn't have enough time. That's what you're going to do. So I take care of that excuse. Also, there are people that have legitimate, documented dealing with time. They have issues dealing with time. And that's why I give you an extra 40 minutes also. Okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody this. If you have documentation and if you have sent me that documentation, you already have 3 attempts and you already have 40 minutes extra time. The only way I will grant extra time on 90 minutes is if you do all 3 attempts and I do not see progression. Does everybody see what I'm talking about? Let's say that Miss Grendel comes to me after 3 attempts and she has a 50, a 70, and a 90. Well, chances are I'm not going to grant extra time. I may grant her another attempt because she's already at 90. Versus Mr. Nelson comes to me and he has a 50, a 50, and a 50. And I look at the times and he ran out of time and he only had 50% of the problems done. Okay, so I do take things into account, but you have to take all 3 attempts before you come to me, since I'm already giving you an extra 50 minutes. And that's for people who have documentation and who have already sent that to me through email. Okay, so let's look at it. I'm going to go to preview. You click on it. Oh my gosh, look what it tells you again. It tells you how many you have on the test. It tells you, oh my gosh, the due date. So after today, if you write me an email asking me when is the test due, will you get a reply?
Yes.
Hell to the no. You will not. And look, it gives you 3 attempts and it will take the highest of the 3. There is a bonus question about that on the test. It will take the highest of 3 grades. And look at there. There's another thing. Do you notice how it's telling you things over and over and over? You have 90 minutes to take the test. Please do not start the test in the middle of a typhoon. Please do not start the test in the middle of a lightning storm. Now, I'm going to go to preview, and I'm going to show you the test. We only got a few minutes, so, and I'll be glad to stay after if you want to keep looking at the test. That's fine. I don't mind. Where is my test? Let me just list it by test. Now, if you leave the test, if you go outside the test, let's say I go down here and click on the internet to go to Khan Academy. It will shut down the test. You cannot get back into it. You cannot get into your homework. You will have to call me, and it will have beside your name on Gradebook where I reset it, it'll say student left the test. In other words, student cheated. In other words, student was trying to access another application. You will say on your email everything but the truth. You will tell me that lightning struck your computer. You will tell me that something happened to your computer while you were doing the test. You will tell me all these things, and the computer is telling me, My Labs Plus is telling me that your cursor clicked on an application outside the test and it shut it down. So I'm just telling you, when you send me an email, just be truthful. The first time, I will reset it. I will not say anything, but be careful. The second time, I will deduct points. Third time, I will not reset it. Okay? This is the question. We did a bunch of those in chapter 3.1. I'll blow it up a little bit so y'all can see it. There it is. Now, I'm not going to do these problems because I only got like 5 minutes. So I'm going to just go through and show you some bonus problems. There's a pie chart, which that's not very, the library owns 2,000, so 2,000, and they want to know romance. So that would be 2,000 times 0.12. You can't use 12%. You have to change it into a decimal. That's out of chapter 10. 0.12 times 2,000. Next. Convert this mixed number into an improper fraction, 19/4. There's your answer. What branch of the military did Hubert serve in? The only one with United States in front of it. And it's the only one that's on my information sheet that you should have read. Please don't put Army. Please don't. Don't do that. All right. Does Hubert replace your lowest test grade with a final exam? No. I give you all these points and all these attempts and all these. No, I don't do that. There's the multiplication problem. You can either do it and reduce or reduce and do it. 3 will go into there 3 times, go in there 5 times. 4 will go in there 1 time, go in there 2 times. So you can reduce on this one. Write the fraction in lowest terms. So you need to divide something into something. I know 3 and 11 is about the only thing that will go into 33. So 3 or 11, you need to check, see if 3 will go in there. I believe it will, yes. Like 17 times or let's see, 27 times or something like that. Next. Okay, this is a Walmart equation. This is a Walmart equation. This is out of chapter 10. You got to be careful on this one. You got to read it. You got to read it. If you miss a question on Hubert's test and you believe it is correct, so after today, since I went over this question, if you have a challenge question on a test, meaning you think it's correct, if you write me an email, am I going to respond? No, because the answer is ask Hubert if you can meet with him after class so I can see the test so you and I can pull it up together and look at it. This is what y'all do. Send several emails to Hubert or text messages, or I messed up on number 3. Can you look at it? And I won't reply. You have to physically ask me in class to meet with you after class or some other time. There's one we just did, scientific notation. Scientific notation. Scientific notation. I told you scientific notation and fractions were going to take up most of the test. Find the product, multiply or reduce or multiply. It looks like you can break 7, that's 1, that's 5. And I got like 2 minutes. 2 will go in here 1 time, go in here 13 times. So you can reduce and do that one. What should a student do if something happens during the semester and they are out of class for a while? Do what students do. Wait until after grade turn-in to tell your teacher that you had to go on a cruise and you missed the 3rd unit test. But you didn't tell me until 2 weeks after grade turn-in when you found your A had turned into a C. And here comes helicopter mom, not talking to me, but goes to my department head. And I write an email and show her that she did not take the 3rd test. And then the department head said, there's nothing she can do. Your daughter did not communicate. Therefore, she got a 0 on the test. And her A went to a C.
I love that you blame it on the Russians.
Oh, yeah. Blame everything on the Russians. When you're accountable, when you screw up, you blame it on the Russians. There is a addition problem. You got to get a common denominator. There's a scientific notation. Now it says express each answer in what? Decimal notation. And I'm running out of time. I've already taken the roll this week. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to go through and finish it. So if you want to stay, you're welcome to stay. If you want to go, you're welcome to go. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep recording until I finish. When does the homework terminate?
Did you mark me absent for this week?
Huh?
Did you mark me absent for this week?
I think everybody's here. Yeah, everybody's here this week.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Yeah, I don't think we're missing anybody. Hold on, I'll check. Well, I told everybody they can leave. Hold on, Miss Hunter, and I'll check right quick.
Okay.
Let me check. I think I checked before class, but I'll make sure. Yeah, the only person that's missing is Vanessa. and he's not here today. So I don't have to worry about it. Everybody else is here, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay. I'm gonna
Okay,
go back.
thank you.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I'm gonna go back to the test. Where is it? Where'd it go? Hold on. There it is. Toward the end of the unit. Next. Why does Hubert not entertain, I want extra points or extra credit at the end of the semester? Because I give you these bonus questions and I let you drop 2 grades on each unit test. So don't ask. There's a sign problem. -2 plus 3 is +1. Next. In your grade book, what do you hit when you want to find your grade? Well, it used to be overall grade, but they got tired of people asking, how do you find your grade? So they just make it go to overall grade. And now you click on calculation to see. So they don't do that anymore. So it's overall grade. George Sandbox requires 28 cubic feet of sand. How many bags of sand if each bag holds 2/3? So you would divide 28 by 2/3. So you would divide 28 by a fraction. There is no such thing as dividing by a fraction. You multiply by the reciprocal. So it'd be 28 times 3/2. Next. The recommended daily allowance, blah, blah, blah. 1 serving of certain breakfast cereal provides blah, blah, blah. What percent? Okay, so there is a percent over 100. Okay, so that's a sentence problem. Scientific notation. Scientific notation. If you look at your overall grade one day and it has decreased from several days ago, what has happened? We've had a couple of students tell me after the semester and after grade turn in that they didn't know that if you didn't do a test or a homework that it counted as 0. That's what they told me. So I put these questions on each test. If a student does not complete a homework assignment or test, what grade will be recorded? 0. Although covered in handouts, best way to get in touch with Hubert is to email him his cell phone. Scientific notation. The only one, I've had students miss this question, and I still haven't gotten an explanation from any student that tell me how a student misses this question. I don't understand how a student misses this question. But they're going to start a revolution. A person earns, eat Tide Pods and use Gorilla Glue for hairspray, and they're going to start a revolution. A person earns 23,600 1 year and gets a 5% raise. So that's the Walmart equation. 23,600 times 0.05 plus 0.05 times 23,600, and that's your new salary. And if you have incomplete assignments, what does Hubert do? And what does it do to your grade? He puts in a 0 and it decreases your grade. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, make sure you blow this one up. Hit the magnifying glass. And that's a plus and a division symbol. That right there is a division symbol, and that right there is a plus symbol. I think they need to do a little bit better on that, but you have to blow it up to see it. See there? Next. Scientific notation, prime factorization. That's out of 5.2 signs. You owe somebody $3, you owe somebody $1, you owe them $4. If you owe somebody $4 and you have $7, you have $3 in your pocket. Oops, hold on. I don't know what this is. Oh, scientific notation. If you take several forms of a test in Hubert's class, how is it counted? he takes the highest grade and drops the lowest 2 grades. This is the #1 bonus question that students miss. Why is 30-30-30 not the answer?
Because that's only 90%.
It's only 90%. Thank you, Miss Wilson. Oh. Scientific fractions get a common denominator. Scientific notation and scientific notation. Did I not tell you that this test would be made of scientific notation and fractions? I told you. All right, that's it. Okay, this is what you need to be doing for this weekend. Those of you that feel comfortable taking the test, finish your homework and take the test. Those of you that want to finish the homework and keep sending me questions, you have Monday to do that. And then you can finish by Monday midnight, you can finish your homework. And those of you that want to do the homework and take the test over the weekend, knock yourself out. So y'all got plenty to do this weekend, and I will see y'all Monday.
Alrighty.
All right,
Turn off the recording.
you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
sure.
Y'all have a good weekend.
You too.